interested. Maybe Spurs can come in and join the party one day. Who
Yeah, well,
knows?
to be honest, mate, I could put you in the top 4 with a game to go. You'll still finish 5th. So
Oh, mate, love it. Just give us some lasagna for breakfast, mate. Bit of lasagna, and we're all yours, mate. That's all it takes with Spurs, man. Make sure the lasagna's on the table for us, man. Right, let's talk of Tottenham, lads. So we'll finish off with the last game of the day, and it was Tottenham 2, West Ham 0. I will give you my thoughts on that game. Let's look at the lineup as well. Back into fourth, which is a lovely sight for a Spurs fan, because that is probably the best it's going to get for us this season. I don't see us doing anything above fourth. And if we get fourth, I give the season a 9 out of 10. I really do. I don't think Spurs can wish for any more. Apart from a FA Cup would be lovely, because we are up there with the FA Cups. I think we're joint fourth in the history of football for FA Cups. We do like the FA Cup. So fingers crossed for that. But it's all about top four with Daniel Levy and Tottenham running it like a business, profit, loss, revenue, and all the great stuff, that Daniel Levy keeps telling us about. It's a proper business, Tottenham Hotspur. We don't borrow unless we need to. We don't spend unless we need to. Now, let's look at this game. So it was 2-0 in the end. The first half was very, very boring. I cannot tell you much about the first half. It was West Ham not really having a go, sort of trying to pick Spurs off. And Tottenham just had no final killer passes, really. There was a handball appeal, but I think if they gave the handball against Chelsea last week, they would have had to give this one. The guy was falling to his left, and he stopped a through ball in the box from Richarlison, in the box to Kane, and Kane would have had a shot on goal. But because he was falling, and the whole Chelsea thing, I think if there is such thing as consistency, that was it, by the referee not giving that, or the VAR guys not looking at it. But any other day, that's a handball. But like I said, they went off the Chelsea one, and it looks like you're allowed to now just make saves in the penalty area. I think that's the new rule. That's the message from VAR. Defenders make saves, no problem. They should give them gloves before the game, make it easier. The first half was pretty boring, guys. And then really just looking at the lineup, like we put Ben Davies on the left, we dropped Perisic, tired. The man's, 30, whatever he is, 32 or whatever he is, 33, I don't know now. He has been playing week in, week out, because our plan B on the left wing back position is Ryan Sessegnon, and he's done his hammy. He's done his hammy again. He keeps doing his hamstring. So he's out for a month. So Perisic has been our main man. So we got change on the left, which I love it when Conte changes it up, because it shows he's proactive. He's not just putting the big name players on each time. So Perisic came off. Ben Davies came in on the left wing back. Clement Longley then took Ben Davies' place behind him, and his experience from Barcelona and the French World Cup. And in the middle, Eric Dyer kept his place. On the right, Christian Romero was back. We really missed him against Leicester. He's our best player, the World Cup winner. Real sort of in-your-face, old-school Premier League defender, just gets stuck in, happy to take a yellow every game, but he will not let you have an easy night. And then on the right, this was a surprise. We had Emerson Royale, who's been a 50-50 man the whole season. The Spurs fan base have been split on him. He's not a right wing back traditionally. He's a right back from his previous clubs. Conte's just tried with him at right wing back, and he's actually come good in the last 3 games. He had a blinder against Man City, and today he had a blinder there. He has scored a goal, and he was doing step overs and tricks and flicks, and he was taking the piss for the last 15 minutes. Just the way he was it was like he was loving the atmosphere from the Tottenham fans. They were singing his name. They've got a song for him now. It's something like, he can't defend, he can't attack, but he's our best right back. Something like that, right? It takes the piss. It's ironic. And that's what they sing, and Tottenham fans do that, right? They'll make a song for you if you prove them wrong, let's say, and the Tottenham fans have been proven wrong on Emerson Royale. Maybe he's playing well because Pedro Porro's come in, so that might have been a kick up the backside he needed. Ollie Skip, he's our academy product from back in the day. Brilliant game. He stepped in for Rodrigo Bentancur, who's out with a cruciate and is out for the rest of the season, even potentially the beginning of the next season. He smashed his knee up last week against Leicester. Best midfielder this season, and Ollie Skip's come in and he's done a pretty good job. Ollie Skip, fair play to the young boy, the young man. He's come in and he's handled the pressure well, but will he handle the second leg against AC Milan well? Because in AC Milan he was brilliant. I give him an 8. And then he carried on that form into this game. So we need Ollie Skip to keep doing what he's doing. Yves Bissouma is also out for a month. We've got some real big injuries at Tottenham, some big players. Pierre was great. He came in and did what Pierre does. He's a utility guy. He's a pass and go, and he chips in with a bit of creativity. And he's a big leader. He's very vocal. He's Mr. Vocal at Tottenham, more vocal than Kane and more vocal than anyone else on that pitch. He's always shouting at everyone, the ref, the players, geeing up the fans. He's our man in terms of leadership. Richarlison had a poor game, was disappointed with him. Just not working for Richarlison at the moment. I don't think he's going to... I don't know. He's not going to take Kane's place, obviously, down the middle. So it's where we accommodate him. And it's a bit of a square and a round peg at the moment with Richarlison. So watch this space on him. It might be that we sell him in the summer and go for more of a winger type player, like a more of a Sonny, because Richarlison's not as quick and he's not a winger. He's a number 9 up top, and he wants to be playing where Kane's playing. He got subbed off, and then Sonny came on and scored a goal, chaps, after God knows how many games without a goal. The last 2 was in the FA Cup against Portsmouth, and he scored a goal. It was classic Kane to Son. Watch it, and it's literally the other however many 100 goals they've scored. It was Kane, one touch, bang into Son's path, and then he took a really good soft first touch, set him up perfectly and smashed it into the corner. And Dejan Kulusevski had a good game. So, yeah, it was a second half for Tottenham. We have been playing poor in our first halves this season, and we stepped up in the second half. But I must say West Ham were poor. I mean, if you've got Ben Davies as a left wing-back and Emerson Royal as a right wing-back, there's not much creativity there, guys. Even though Ben Davies got the assist for the first goal, they're not going to go down the wing and smash it in like a Trent. They're not going to rip their opposition player to pieces with speed or amazing technical ability. So they're just steady eddies. So when I saw the game, I thought, this has got a draw written all over it. But fair play to the wingers. They basically both put in 7 out of 10, probably an 8 out of 10 for Emerson with the goal, which was weird because I wonder if Conte will now keep these 2 flanks. Because what they do give you is, whilst they don't give you attacking threat, they give you defensive stability. So, more of a Conte maybe system in that sense, in terms of keeping a clean sheet. And that was it, lads. So we're back up to 4th. West Ham were crap. Declan Rice, don't know what's happened to him. He was the next big thing out there, and he was supposed to be the next big signing, English signing this summer. I wonder if Arsenal or Liverpool, if they don't get Bellingham, will sign him. Jarrod Bowen, absolute baller, was ripping us to shreds. Their best player on the park by a country mile. He's a quality player, Jarrod Bowen. He's definitely by far the best player West Ham have got. And it was the attacking threat came down Jarrod Bowen's side. Apart from Jarrod Bowen, I can't really say West Ham caused us too much of a problem. And I've been bigging up West Ham recently, saying they're going to come good. But off that performance, I don't see West Ham finishing top 8 anymore. They were really average, guys. They were really average. But yeah, any questions on Tottenham, lads? Anyone watch the game or
the one where Antonio went in and he went for Kane's, but it was his ankle, but he never touched the player. Right. It was the one where the ball was in between them. Yeah. So, but the way Kane was rolling about was quite hilarious.
Kane went down. Yeah, the ball was stuck in between. Yeah, it was like he's hit by a balloon, wasn't it?
Yeah.
I mean, Kane's one of these players where he buys you a foul all the time. He gets his body in the right position. He does go over a bit easy. I agree that Harry Kane does go down easy, but he's one of them clever players where he buys you 5 minutes, he buys you a free kick, and he buys you a set piece. And every team needs a player like that. Obviously, you don't want divers. Don't get me wrong. You don't want people going down in the box. And I don't think Kane's had many ways going down in the box. He doesn't fake it all the time. But I tell you what, Harry Kane, the reason he's one of the best players is he will buy you those 5 minutes. He will go down easy. He will buy a foul. And I think the Nunez's of this league, the new guys, the guys that are coming to the Chelsea squad, they need to learn how to do that. There's an art. It's an actual art. I don't think you just go down every time. You buy it. You keep the referee on his toes, and you don't let the referee think you're a complete, cowboy in that sense. And Kane picks his moments really well. But yeah, I mean, he went down like a.
Yeah, no, he played well, but West Ham are in the relegation zone, aren't they? I mean, they've just been sort of a little bit like Liverpool and Chelsea. Liverpool are kind of got a little bit of resurgence, but they're just in the wrong areas. You don't expect those teams to be there, do you? But yeah, West Ham were just not coming good. They played well against Chelsea last week. Probably should have lost if we had had the penalty, but yeah, there was nothing about them today. I mean, that was a Spurs win.
It's funny, right, with West Ham. I was just thinking when you guys were talking. Last season, they were flying high, and Jarrod Bowen was banging the goals. They went out and invested quite a bit of money in the summer, and they're now in the relegation zone. So football is a bit of a
Yeah.
humbler. But Josh, I was going to say with Kane in a scenario, let's just say he moves on, he doesn't sign the contract, and he goes to United because they're getting new money in. Could you see like Richarlison being moved up front, and then you buy the new number 9? I could see that happening because you'll probably
Yeah,
get
mate.
decent money for Kane.
I think at 60 mil, we've got to give him what he wants, which is 90 minutes and a run in his favorite position, which is up top. You know, give him service, give him the wings, give him opportunities to score. At the moment, he's a bit part play. He comes in 60 minutes. I feel sorry for him a bit, after the World Cup, as well. He had a good World Cup.
Because for Brazil, he scores every time.
He scores every time, man. He's their main man. He starts ahead of Jesus at the moment, which you could argue is debatable because Jesus is quality. Let's be honest, Jesus is quality. But yeah, he gets the nod by the national team boss. He's one of these players where he'll rev up. He's an emotional guy. So he'll shout at he'll get the crowd going, and he's one of these wear your heart on your sleeve types, yeah. And he's always got like he's always a minute away from a yellow or doing something stupid. When you watch him, you think, no, calm down. So he has got that fire in him, yeah, which I like. I like that because he's the kind of player that will smash in something or smash someone's head in, you know what I mean? Just because he's wound up like that. So you don't want to take out the fire out of Richarlison, but you want to bring some composure. Like he'll get the ball and he'll do a step over that's not needed, or there's a pass to be made and he won't make it as quick as possible. I think he's a bit selfish as well. But again, all the great strikers have a bit of selfishness. So I think it's too early to judge him. But if Kane goes, yeah, in answer to your question, I think Richarlison will start for Tottenham up front. And then it's the new Spurs from there, isn't it? It's how we build into Richarlison. Then we've got Sonny, who's going to be there, definitely. I don't think Sonny's on his way. We've got Danjuma, we've got Kulusevski, and we've got, a few options there with Brian Hill coming back. We've got, Lucas Moura's done, man. Lucas Moura's done. Thank you very much for everything, Lucas Moura. So, yeah, I mean, if Kane goes, I think Richarlison's got to start, man. But I mean, just generally around the room, lads, do you guys think Tottenham will make top 4 or do you think they'll miss out?
I think that I think you'll get 5th. I think Newcastle will come good. I genuinely think that they're going to push on when they get a chance. But the game, I saw the game and Ben Davies got man of the match. So whatever Conte did, he got him playing in a way that he got the assist, and he obviously, played really well as well. With Richarlison, it's an interesting one, right? Like we spoke about this a few weeks ago. You spent really well in the transfer window, and it just hasn't really clicked, and you haven't pushed on from sort of last season. And I think this is the bit where if you get it together, you could go on a run, and that could be 4, 5, 6 games, where you go and win. But yeah, will you make top 4? I think you're just going to miss out, and it's just one of those ones where Harry Kane again was the best passer of the ball. He had to drop back into that deeper number 10 role and release on, right? And he did the same earlier as well. But is Emerson Royale going to be scoring the goals to kind of keep you going? I don't think so. So I think I'm looking at Son to sort of push on. If he can get anywhere near the 15 goals, 16 goals that he scored in that golden season, then you've got a chance. But
the thing with Son is, he scored 4 goals, 3 against Leicester off the bench and 1 today. And he's becoming our super sub. He's literally only playing well when we bring him off the bench. So now the big question in the debate amongst Tottenham fans is, do we start him against Chelsea? Do we start Son, or do we allow him to come on when the game's kind of had its, there's a few tired legs. The Conte's been able to read the tactics of the opposition. If Potter has any at the moment, that's questionable. But at least then 60, 70 minutes, you can look at it and go, right, Sonny, these are your instructions. I want you to attack that player in that position, and that's where we're gonna target that weakness against Chelsea, for argument's sake. So I wonder if Sonny's now going to become a bit more of a super sub, because when we start him, he is a different player to when he comes on, and it's just really weird. It's unexplainable.
I think he comes on. I think he comes on against Chelsea and causes damage, because one thing he won't do is track back and sort of support that sort of defensive minded thing. And if you look at Chelsea, they're going to play a very similar system to you in terms of having the sort of wingers out, at full pelt for the first sort of 50, 60 minutes, I'd imagine, trying to get Sterling into the game as well. And the game could be gone by then. They could have scored 2-3 goals. This could be Chelsea's defining game. If they go and beat Spurs 5-1 or something, everyone's like, yep, Chelsea are here. So
5-2, I remember that as well.
yeah, exactly. So I think Son coming off the bench while it's still 0-0, that's when you'll probably go on to win it, because that's the chance. He gives you that. He is pure quality in that final third.
It's a tough one. Like, Arsenal have that with Martinelli at the moment. You start him, you bring him on. It's the same thing with Son. He plays in the same position, left wing. And the thing is, if a player scored, generally you start him. That's generally the norm, isn't it? He's confident. He's banged one in. Go on, mate. Go and do it again. But I look at Sonny at the moment. His dribbling's awful. He's running into players and he's trying to do this whole thing where he's trying to hard and trying to score that goal against Burnley. Every time he dribbles, he runs into a cul-de-sac. And it's like, mate, keep it basic. Pass the ball, stay in the game. You're making it harder for yourself. And just do what you do best, which is the last man defender. Look for the offside. And as soon as Kane gets it, your best mate, you know what to do. Just peg it towards goal and he'll find you. Kane will generally find him. And I think he's doing that whole dribbling and trying to do too much. And he's trying to be man of the match too quick,
Yeah, it's very similar to Rashford in the position that he plays. And if you look at what we do with Rashford at United, I can't remember the last game when Rashford sort of carried on playing past 70 minutes. We're just nursing him back. As soon as he scores his 2 goals, we take him off. We're like, okay, you're done now, mate. Thank you very much. And it could be that Son goes down that route, that you start him and he blisterly, destroys the team. And then
the thing with Conte is there's been Spurs fans have said he's got his set kind of favourites, and fans were getting pissed off. Like, come on, change it up. Sonny's not playing well, change it. Emerson Royale, whoever it is, not change it and keep them on their feet. And he did that this game. I mean, this is a new look Spurs. We haven't had this 11 out at all, in any competition this season. So I think fans were happy to see change. Fans were happy to see us dropping star players, our Golden Boot winner from last season. And I remember seeing him on the bench before kickoff, and you could see he's like, he's thinking shit, But then you're also, as a manager, saying, prove me wrong. Come on and score a goal and show the world what you're still capable of. And he did that. So, but it was a win-win today. Son scores, Conte gets it right on selection. I've got no complaints really about today's team selection. Obviously, if we'd lost, I would have been sitting here maybe picking holes on it. But it was one of those routine wins, It was a bread and butter win. Yeah. West Ham always give us a game. They beat us 1-0 last season on the home game, the same game. And I worry when West Ham come to town, because people say it's their cup final. They turn up. We're like probably their biggest London rivals or their rivals.
No, but you played well and you got the result in your top 4. That's all that matters.
That's it. But now we go to now Chelsea come to Tottenham, and Tottenham, the problem with Tottenham is inconsistency. But we have won 3 of the last 4. We're up there with United with form as well. We're one of the top form. We're slowly going about our business with Newcastle dropping off. My worry is Liverpool. I don't. Yeah. As to what you said about top 4, I'm not worried about Newcastle. I'm worried about Liverpool. I think Newcastle's time's up. I think they're tired. I think they've run out of ideas, and teams have found them out. And I think teams don't respect them as much. And I think their recent form's shown that. I could be completely wrong. They might go on a nice run from here. But I believe Liverpool is the team to watch out for. And they've got the games in hand. I think they've got 2 on us and 1 on Newcastle. So I worry that Liverpool, if Klopp football's back, we're all in trouble. I'm talking about top 4 here. I think you guys, you guys, City and Arsenal are gonna finish where you are, in some order. But I think Liverpool are the ones Spurs have to watch out for. If we beat Chelsea, that's it done. Dark horses. If we beat Chelsea, I think we put them away. That's could be it for the season. But lads, there is still a good 30 points or whatever it is to play for. I think. I think how many games? 15.
So about 45 points still to play for.
45 points.
Huge.
There you go.
That's
huge. So talking about top 4 and top, who's going to finish, who's going to win the title? Can Chelsea can turn it around. Chelsea can turn it around, mate. 3 wins and they've done a Liverpool. 3 wins, and they can start with Spurs, and we always lose against Chelsea. Especially away at the Bridge. Yeah. But before I close off on Tottenham, any other last comments, lads? No.
Is there any truth in this takeover bid by Jam Najafi? What's your views on that?
Yeah. You know what? The FT The Financial Times reported it, and that's when I took notice because it wasn't like an in the know story. It was the FT reporting. I thought, all right, let me read this. I've got to read this right. The dude's got like a consortium style thing going on. He's going to present, or he's going to process and knock on the door in a few weeks. He's going to knock on the Tottenham door in a few weeks, as per the FT. Again, they were very clear in what they said. They weren't grey about it. And around the 2.5 billion mark. Now, rumours are Levy wants 5. Joe Lewis wants 5. Spurs have a lot of debt, so that's going to come into the question. Are you buying the club? How are you buying it? The fans will be happy, most of them, I think, if Levy goes. But there's a lot of fans at Spurs that realise that Levy has built a sustainable club that's won 1 trophy but still brings in more revenue than their rivals. So that you can argue that's well done. You've not won on the pitch, got to 6 finals and lost 5. We won the one in 2008 in his tenure of 21 years, but you still brought in the money. So generally, when you compare success to money, there's generally a link that you win more trophies, you get more commercial income, you get more fans around the world, you sell more shirts, and you get more money. But Levy's done it without the trophies. So this is where there's an argument of, hold up, you've done a pretty good job, mate. You've basically kept us top 6. People say, why are Spurs in the Big 6 debate? We don't have the trophies to show for it. Nowhere near what the rest of the guys, on this panel, and Man City, obviously, smashing most out the park. Arsenal have a decorated, everyone, all the guys on this panel have more trophies in the multiples bar Tottenham. But Levy's done a great job, some would argue, off the pitch commercially. But I think the problem with Tottenham is if we don't spend the 150, 200 million minimum this summer window, 200 million, go for our A signings, pay 200 grand a week, then Liverpool getting brought out, Man United on the verge of being brought out, are just going to smash us out the park. Chelsea, are on their way. They've got the squad. It's just a matter of time for me. It's just a manager situation. They're going to smash Tottenham out the park. So Tottenham will become a top 8 team or top 6 team at best if we don't get the investment. So the fingers are crossed, mate. Fingers are crossed, Sultan. It's just whether Daniel Levy will accept 3.5 bill, or whether he's going to hold it out for that 5 bill.
3.1 bill for Tottenham. I'll snap their hands off for that, because 5 billion, what are they smoking? Like, honestly,
exactly.
5 billion for Spurs.
Yeah.
I mean, you factor in the stadium, one of the best stadiums in the world, but 3.1 billion, take that money and run, honestly, because I don't think you're going to get more than more than that. 5 billion, I think.
Yeah, I think Chelsea set the standard, didn't they, when they sold for more than what people thought they would sell at. And I think United will sell at 5, 6. So they'll raise. United are worth it, But what's happening here is a London club, 1 billion stadium. He'll negotiate. Levy will say, "Hold up, I'm worth 5 bill too. I've given you the project, ready-made, oven meal. Go and cook it." Do you know what I mean? There's nothing to do here. You've got all the infrastructure in place. You've got the NFL agreements in place for 10 years. You've got Lady Gaga here and Beyonce next week. And you've got a top 4 team in Champions League. Give me 5 bill. And you could argue that a buyer would say, you know what, with the way things are, it's a just crack on with it. I don't need to put money into this. I don't need to put, too much into it. Yeah, it's very tanky, isn't it? It's a ready to go thing. So all they need to do is put the money on the pitch. There's nothing off the pitch they can do better for Spurs now. He's built everything. He's even building a cinema. What more can he do? So we'll see, mate. 3 bill or not.